is up, everybody? I hope you guys are all having an okay weekend. I didn't want to take too long. Just a couple of interesting things that I stumbled across over the past couple of days, one of which is the European Securities and Markets Authority, which essentially has now been given the head regulator spot for markets dealing in crypto assets, so crypto assets regulation. I found something interesting about who they spoke with as far as that regulation was concerned, and it appears that one of three companies was Ripple earlier this year. I'll show you that in a second. Also, the Faster Payments Council yesterday put out a tweet. Faster Payments Council and Ripple are conducting a crypto and payment survey to gauge industry perspectives on the use of blockchain and cryptocurrencies and payments. Interestingly enough, this tweet got a lot of traction. It appears that they deleted it, and now they just have the June 9th tweet up. So I'm not really sure why they deleted the one from yesterday. Maybe too many, I don't know, maybe too many likes and retweets. I would have no idea why they would delete that. All right, but, a little bit of a backdrop of this, which I found today. So over the past couple of weeks, we've seen that the European Union has designated the European Securities and Markets Authority as the top cryptocurrency regulator in the EU. Now, this is dealing in the latest markets and crypto assets draft. We can see that right here, etc. What I found interesting is these are the European Securities and Markets Authority staff stakeholder contacts in the first quarter of 2022. This was put out the 11th of April, 2022. Maybe you've seen this. I haven't seen this, but it says right in here, ESMA is committed to the highest standards of transparency in its interactions with stakeholders. ESMA will therefore publish information on ESMA staff meetings with external stakeholders. So stakeholders within the Eurozone, I'm assuming, and they get into the meetings. And there was 3 meetings that they had take place for markets and crypto assets, which we know is this regulation that the ESMA is basically heading now. February 8th, 2022, they directly met with Ripple. They met with ICE as well, Internet Continental Exchange. But also they met with Coinbase, and that was on March 1st. And then they met with Bitpanda on March 25th. Just thought it was interesting, hadn't stumbled across that. It's basically referring to Ripple as a stakeholder within the Eurozone, and the European Securities and Markets Authority found it beneficial enough to reach out to 3 different organizations that directly deal in crypto for the MiCA regulation, or markets in crypto assets. Ripple was one, Bitpanda was the other, and Coinbase was the third. This is not the only relationships that we know that Ripple, well, I can't say that the Interledger Protocol is directly Ripple now. It's basically managed by the W3C, who owns the internet. But I would very much so suggest looking into this Phoenix Horizon 2020 initiative that has quite a bit of EU funding. I talked about this previously. So from the Lighthouse report that I put out, which is free, this is one of the slides, and this just came out like June 1st, which had the Interledger Protocol confirmation. But it talks about providing a cyber shield armor to the European electrical power energy system to survive coordinated large-scale cybersecurity and privacy incidents, guarantee the continuity of operations, and minimize cascading effects in the infrastructure itself, the environment, and the end users at a reasonable cost. This is basically talking about the Interledger Protocol underpinning the smart grid of the European Union. I think this had 11 million euros in funding. This is still ongoing. It doesn't end until August, but you can see some of the application scenarios. Here are the links. Storing data hashes, transferring data among different ledger types, and exchanging digital assets or trading value between DLTs. A lot of this stems back to this European Union SOFI architecture. This SOFI initiative was Secure Open Federation for Internet Everywhere. You can see that SOFI results were utilized by Horizon 2020's Phoenix initiative, which is what I'm talking about right now. There's quite a bit on this, and I'm sure that there's plenty of rabbit holes to dive deep into within this as well. You can see within this, so this is one of the deliverables, I think. This is deliverable D2.3. They talk directly about Interledger Protocol within this as well. They talk about Quorum. They talk about Hyperledger. It's actually talked about that, Interledger Protocol provides the interoperability mechanisms between a lot of these different DLTs for value transfer, whether that be a cryptocurrency or whatever other values are going to be transferring amongst these distributed ledgers. So very, very interesting stuff. There's I think a couple of weeks left to claim the free edition of this Lighthouse report. There's a ton in here if you guys are interested. But last but not least, I wanted to talk about Quant. It's interesting. I saw that, I've talked about, I think there's a couple of guys. There's the XX guy on Twitter, Tokenizer, Citizen of the Future. Those guys do some deep dives into Quant. And there's a bunch of different Quant community members that are on Twitter as well that have done deep dives. And there's been, I don't know, I just think it's interesting. All the payments providers in Canada basically went out over the past couple of days, and you see Quant kind of explode in value. I'm not saying that there's anything to that, but there's a lot of opportunities out there in this space right now. I know that that's an unpopular thing to say, and that we may be going into a big recession here. But like I said, I did pick up some Quant in the middle of June when it was in the low $40 range. Along with, I think, Immutable X, LCX, and then over this past weekend, I picked up some Casper, I picked up some Energy Web, I picked up some Zinfin. I think there's one, I picked up a little bit of Alliance Block just because I think it's ridiculously undervalued right now, and there's probably one or two more, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said before, and I'm not pulling up charts in this video. I just had indicators that I was watching, and I'm sticking with those. And, I that's not everything. I mean, if we go lower, I have a little bit left to certainly participate if we go lower. Because if we go lower than 19.5 for Bitcoin, it's going to go to 13K or somewhere around there, or maybe worse, if that happens. And the fire sale that will be going on, and this isn't financial advice, this is just common sense, everybody. The fire sale across the entire crypto market will be so ridiculous that even $100, $200 will potentially pay off in dividends if you buy, the right assets and you're willing to hold for a little bit of time. Again, not financial advice, that's just common sense. I mean, you can look at the total market cap of crypto right now, $960 billion. Over time, I think that this is going to be a drop in the bucket. We hit 3 trillion last year. I would assume that we obviously hit higher than 3 trillion. Actually, it was interesting. I was looking at all of the market, the total market cap of all of crypto, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I think it's like 300 or something like that billion right now. Maybe even a little bit less than that. But I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see where the total market cap of crypto goes during the next uptick, like the next parabolic peak during the next market cycle. I don't know what even to think about that. I mean, I would, if I had to guess, I would say that, this is going to be probably the strongest wave for crypto for this next cycle, potentially. And, we could get up to that $10 trillion range within the next 3-4 years or so. So it'll be interesting to watch play out. Again, just, I always am a big advocate of just making your own plan, having indicators that you're watching and, sticking to it, because whenever prices go down, it's very hard to emotionally gauge what to do in the market unless you have a plan that you just say, screw it, I'm going to stick with this. You can always tweak your plan a little bit, obviously, especially given the macroeconomic stuff right now. If we go into some sort of a horrible recession, I don't know how, crypto's considered a high-risk asset. I can't imagine it doing fantastic during that time until the Fed decides to pivot. But it'll be, I still recommend having a plan. It's the same thing for a bull market whenever price is going up, or a bear market when prices are in the shitter. I recommend having a plan. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just thought it was interesting that the European Securities and Markets Authority decided to reach out to 3 stakeholders earlier this year, and now they are the leaders of the markets and crypto asset regulation aspects. And it was Ripple, Bitpanda, and Coinbase, and you can see some of the initiatives that are going on in the EU that are certainly dealing in the Interledger Protocol. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will talk to you when I talk to you. Bye.